hopefully that is okay with everybody, so that we follow a thread in discussions. But before we start that, maybe any of the speakers, you have like a welcoming word or any intro speech that you want to offer, so that we just move to the nice questions we have for you, prepared for you. You're fine? No? Victor has some few words. No? You're fine? Okay. Good. Just one last second until I find that. So, Cesaro, let's start with you. Can you please talk a bit about Google's AI policy, where you see how this enables governments, businesses? What's the value add that you actually try to bring in, and what are the news on your end? Thank you.
Yes, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here back in Moldova to discuss about such an important topic dear to me and one of our areas of expertise at Google, and generally a topic that everyone is more and more interested to learn about. At Google, we value very much the innovation that technology is bringing in the benefit of the people. And we know that AI has gained a massive interest in the recent years or even months. But actually, the truth is that we've been using AI in our daily lives for many, many years already. So in terms of our commitment to bringing technology closer to the people, our core mission at Google is to make words, information accessible for everyone in a useful way. So this is what we are mainly doing, and of course we've expanded the business practices, but generally we want to make sure that we can bring technology to you, to everyone, be it that in search, in Google Maps, on YouTube recommendations and others. So we've been using this kind of technology, and now of course we see an increase of the use with large language models. And of course this is why we see that is a need for technology to be regulated. And we've always told that technology and AI is so important, and not only that we need to regulate it, we need to regulate it well. And I understand now we are part of a broader conversation, not just part of the European Union, but much more than that. And the truth is that we need to find a common ground to understand what are the ethical principles, how to make them, how to put them in practice. Google started with implementing their policies. Our Google AI principles have been issued in 2018. And it's not just that we say that we want to be transparent and accountable and to respect privacy and to not discriminate and many others, but you need to embed all those principles into building technology. So I think it's a really interesting mission, and we are not doing it alone, but we partner with a lot of organizations, working with governments, with civil society in global partnerships like Partnership on AI. We value a lot of the transatlantic discussions to see exactly what are different perspectives on what do we put first, rights and values or R&D, commercial and innovative practices. So I think it's a really thorough discussion that we can all have to understand how to put that in practice. And generally, we want to contribute to make sure that businesses can benefit from that technology, users alike, that governments can implement and make use of the practices. Now with cloud AI technologies, governments can be more digitalized. And actually, I see how much Moldova has become a digital state, catching up so quickly in the past years that we can only acknowledge and be happy for that, because on digital public services, we see a massive increase and making all the interactions with citizens more easier. We really much value that, and our mission at Google is to make sure that the technology that we develop is safe and reliable. And what we see now with large language models is, of course, a more recent addition that we've brought to technology, but we need to also learn how to not leave anyone behind. So to bridge the skills gap and to make sure that we put these new technologies at the best use, and everyone can use them at the full potential. And of course, emphasis in using different tools or not using it to search on the web as we used to do before on other browsers or so. I think that could be it for the start, and I'm happy to continue more with insights of what we're actually doing.
One follow-up question, maybe
Yes,
to you.
sure.
As a global operator in general and provider of different technologies, what's your position in the current latest regulatory elements that are coming in Europe with the OpenAI Act and the committees and everything? How does Google see it? Do you see any risks associated with access to technology, or do you think this is okay? Or how does Google see it?
Well, it's a broad discussion, and we've been very much involved and invested because we really wanted to take part into shaping this kind of legislation for the future, because now EU is the first one who managed to regulate such an important piece of technology, so to say, if we can even mention it, because we've put that forward. But at the same time, we have Council of Europe that is regulating AI on a broader scale, and we've been trying to bring our contribution to make sure that we regulate technology based on the actual risks it presents for the user. That is one of the initial discussion we had at the EU level on exactly how to regulate on different layers. Because to give you one example to make sure that we assess technology differently, for example, Google Maps can at one time lead you to the closest coffee shop. And this is a clearly low-risk application of an AI system. But at the same time, if we use Google Maps to transport patients to the hospital using critical infrastructure, that's a high risk. So we need to make sure to also to take care for those adjustments and to try to understand the actual risks it poses. So this is what we advocated, and of course trying to find that balance between technology regulation and innovation, making sure that Europe is not lagging behind because there are other actors and regions that are not so strict on regulation as EU is, so that we don't want to operate business models in a way in which we are less innovative than others. But of course, it's a fine balance that we need to search all the time.
Thank you, Cezara. Victor, as Orange Moldova operates at the forefront of telecommunications, how are you leveraging technologies like AI and other emerging tech to drive business efficiency and enhance the customer experience in Moldova? Can you share some thoughts?
Yes, as Olga mentioned in the opening speech, we are very focused on AI because, as Fahad was mentioning before, it's two-in-one. It's offering tremendous opportunities for the future, but in the same time, it's a bit scaring when you go into insights and you see what's actually happening. For me personally, AI is kind of a society, a parallel society to ourselves, where actually without regulation, without having all the involved actors like legal, regulation, safety, police, and so on, things will not work. We can see that, for example, the world, it's not working well with all the regulations. So that's why there we need to work. So as a telco provider at group level, let's say globally, because we're operating in Europe and Africa, Middle East, and some US operations as well, we have isolated an own instance of ChatGPT with all the models coming from Google, OpenAI, and some French startups as well. We are trying to develop and to drive an ethical approach to AI, developing it, learning it, and using the ethical approach, making sure that any image, any output which is generated using AI, it's labeled properly, and we make very well aware our customers or users that this content is coming from another world. Locally, we have identified as 3 key topics or three key areas for the company where we can leverage AI and we can see the most of the potential. First of all, it's customer experience, because it's peer-to-peer interactions where we can plug and augment the speed. First of all, the speed for answering customer demands. Second, improving the quality, because as well as Fahad was mentioning that yes, we are able to learn, but humans are not able to remember things exactly the way they are told. Other domain for us, it's technology operations and internal operations, where a lot of things can be automatized, predicted, and augmented. And the third thing is generative part. On generative part, almost there are no limits what you can do with AI. But at this stage, it's difficult and very expensive to industrialize it and to bring it to the standards of an enterprise-grade operations and enterprise-grade systems.
Maybe you can share one of the most, I don't know, proud moments of Orange introducing AI or other emerging technologies.
The most, let's say the 2 most would be one in customer care, where since several years we are already using chatbot augmented by AI, where a lot of customer interactions, as I said, are being automatized, augmented, and responded faster using this technology. Second one is proactive data models, where we are extensively using this in order to improve the offers and the proposition to our customers, to make sure that this is automatized, industrialized. So the most revenue for the company, or the most improvements for the company, are coming from these 2 areas.
Thank you. Let's move a bit to the future of AI. And Vyacheslav, as a renowned lecturer, futurist, entrepreneur, how do you see the future of AI, or Moldova's AI future?
Добрый день, уважаемые дамы и господа. Это очень хороший вопрос. Знаете, у футуристов есть такая поговорка, что футурологи переоценивают скорость, но недооценивают масштаб изменений. Вот мне кажется, что мы все недооцениваем масштаб изменений, и что произойдет даже не через 15 лет, а в ближайшие 5 лет. Я бы провел здесь сравнение с появлением интернета. Это не менее значимое событие, а более значимое. И вы помните, что те, кто проигнорировал интернет, они потеряли все как специалисты. Сейчас произойдет то же самое. Те, кто проигнорирует искусственный интеллект, они тоже потеряют все. При этом искусственный интеллект уже в ближайшее время станет базовой инфраструктурой, такой как вода, электричество, канализация. То есть мы все будем иметь доступ, мы все им будем пользоваться. Более того, мы даже не всегда будем знать, что мы пользуемся в этот момент искусственным интеллектом. Ну, давайте, значит, я предлагаю рассмотреть масштаб изменений в краткосрочном и в долгосрочном плане.
Vyacheslav, sorry, can we switch to English? We have no translation.
Excuse me?
We have no translation. Cesara doesn't understand. Can you say the same? I can translate the first part. We can use an AI to translate the first part if you want.
Sorry, but I have quite big text. And
it's okay. It's just
okay.
How many of you don't understand
Okay, I
Russian?
promise next time I will speak in English,
Okay.
but right now I can speak in Russian. Okay?
Okay.
Смотрите, 20 лет назад интернет у нас отнял право говорить «я не знаю». То есть не знаешь, тебя не забанили в Гугле, иди смотри. А сейчас у нас искусственный интеллект отнял право говорить «я не умею» или «я не понимаю». Иди в чат GPT, и чат GPT тебе все объяснит и тебя всему научит. И эта парадигма меняет и обучение в том числе. Еще год назад продавали курсы Python за 30 дней. Пойди на курс, через 30 дней ты будешь знать Python. Сейчас продают курсы на 7 дней, как с помощью ChatGPT научиться программировать на Python. То есть ChatGPT становится неотъемлемой частью, неотъемлемым инструментом какого-либо знания. Ну и в-третьих, искусственный интеллект, он заменяет конкретные функции человека. Вот давайте посмотрим на примере таксиста в Лондоне. 10 лет назад таксист в Лондоне — это была уважаемая профессия, и человек на 20 лет был гарантирован своей работой, потому что если он хорошо знал Лондон, все хорошо. Что происходит сейчас? Все ездят по навигатору, и в кого превращается таксист? Таксист превращается в человека, который должен знать, стоит говорить с этим человеком или не стоит. Он превращается в человека, который знает, какую музыку поставить этому человеку. Он превращается в психолога. То есть у нас вместо таксиста получился психолог. Представляете, насколько, в общем-то, меняется вообще парадигма того, что мы делаем. На ближайшие 3-5 лет искусственный интеллект — это про эффективность. То есть сегодня, когда вы хотите использовать искусственный интеллект, он не меняет функции, которые вы делаете. Он кратно повышает эффективность. Либо вашу личную, либо вашего бизнеса, ваших бизнес-процессов, которые вы используете. Вот. И вам прежде всего нужно делать упор на это. Большой минус — это кардинальное изменение рынка труда. Мне где-то в какой-то степени жаль тех, кто сейчас начинает карьеру. Потому что произошло? Если где-то на какой-то работе есть опытный специалист, раньше ему нужны были, скажем так, подаваны. То есть молодые специалисты, которые делали за него некую техническую работу. А сейчас эту некую техническую работу за него делает ChatGPT, и делает это кратно лучше, чем вот эти вот стажеры, начинающие специалисты. Вы представляете, насколько сейчас вот этим подрастающему поколению, тем, кто хочет работать, становится сложно. Я знаю юридические компании, которые полностью перешли на использование сервисов искусственного интеллекта, и им не нужны новые сотрудники. Их сотрудники, которые уже есть, они справляются со всем тем объемом, который есть. Следующее, что очень важно, это то, что появились Personal Assistant AI. То есть вы можете создавать себе персональные ассистенты по любым темам. У меня, например, около 10 персональных ассистентов, сделанных на базе тех данных, которые я подобрал, с которыми я общаюсь каждый день по нужным мне вопросам. Это принципиально повышает мою возможность понимать, разбираться в чем-то. Я также думаю, что в ближайшее время искусственный интеллект принципиально поменяет юриспруденцию в том плане, что я уже сейчас вижу, как адвокаты и судьи при подготовке своих решений они используют искусственный интеллект. Что мешает, чтобы завтра это просто было 2 искусственных интеллекта, которые общаются друг с другом? Да, человек принимает решение, но всю подготовку будет делать человек. В большинстве стран сотни тысяч и миллионы законов. Какой человек это может хорошо знать? Искусственный интеллект это будет знать принципиально, абсолютно. Ну и чуть-чуть о долгосрочных планах. Я считаю, что следующая такая принципиальная революция, которая произойдет в связи с искусственным интеллектом, это автономные AI-агенты. То есть это что такое? Это тот же ассистент, но которого вы можете сказать что-то сделать. Купить билет, заполнить визу в Соединенные Штаты. Кто заполнял визу в Соединенные Штаты? Знает этот адский ад. Да? Представьте себе агента искусственного интеллекта, который это сделает за вас. Пойдем дальше. Представьте себе, что у вас есть агент, который покупает за вас продукты, но при этом он учитывает состояние вашего здоровья, последние знания в диетологии, состав продуктов и все остальное. И смотрите, это означает, что умрет маркетинг, потому что этому искусственному интеллекту все равно, кто покупает эту еду или кто чистит зубы этой пастой. Он будет покупать то, что необходимо. И это ситуация ближайших, по моим оценкам, 3-5 лет. И ситуация будет просто меняться кардинально. Нас пока спасает только одно, что искусственный интеллект — это не про смыслы. Вот смыслы он пока не создает. Я не знаю, сколько продлится это пока. Я бы очень хотел, чтобы это пока продлилось как минимум по моей жизни. Да, чтобы я не увидел, когда искусственный интеллект будет создавать свои смыслы и к чему это приведет. Но вот это то, что нас ждет на ближайший момент, и готовиться нужно каждому из нас. И последнее, что вы должны запомнить, что вы будете конкурировать не с искусственным интеллектом, а с людьми, которые умеют использовать искусственный интеллект. Поэтому сейчас не разобраться в искусственном интеллекте, не понять, как он может помочь вам, это преступление против самих себя. Поэтому не совершайте этого преступления.
Maybe shortly, just to kind of conclude what Vyacheslav has mentioned, he talked about the advantages of using AI and the fact that AI will become as energy and as infrastructure, general infrastructure overall, most probably. The difference will be making people who are using AI versus just AI, so we should not be afraid to use it. And he talked about different personal assistants that he has and that he uses in his daily work, and the fact that it enriches and makes it much easier the work in his specific environment. Therefore, if we're not trying to use AI and try to understand what AI can do for us, then we most probably will be standing out somewhere. And he's sorry for the people who are choosing careers or are on the way to choose their next career, because AI probably will change the whole thing. So this is very, very in short, some key points I have taken. Vyacheslav, if you want to add, maybe let me know. Let's move forward and back to Cezara. So AI is often seen as both an enabler for economic opportunities, but also as a potential disruptor to traditional jobs. So following what Vyacheslav has mentioned related to the traditional jobs and the fact that those people who are using AI would probably have more advantages in this sense, how does Google view AI's role in shaping the economy? What steps is the company taking to ensure the benefits of AI are accessible to everyone, including those in communities that have traditionally been left behind? So you've mentioned about no one left behind, but maybe you can elaborate a bit more about some programs or initiatives that Google is promoting overall.
Yes, thank you. I think what we've been focusing for the past years and generally is to make sure that people can catch up with technology and can understand the benefits, be it in terms of businesses or society and governments alike. We've deployed worldwide one program that is called Grow with Google, in which we offer training to SMBs, to people. This is accessible online and people can get certifications in digital marketing traditionally or programming, and now it's also available for AI courses so that people can understand, can learn. This has been taught in schools. It's a part of us bringing to the community the knowledge that they need, making sure that we bridge the skills gap, and we train a lot of people in IT and in AI. One project that I'm particularly proud of is that we managed to secure a partnership in Romania with the National Institute of Administration that is now having a partnership with the Chancellery in Moldova. So we are offering training courses in AI and cybersecurity to the public officials in Romania and Moldova, that they can access freely and free of charge, so that they can remain up to date to the newest technologies. And in terms of economic opportunity, we worked recently, we launched earlier this year in the spring, a report of the impact on the adoption of generative AI for the CE region, to see how we can evolve together, what is the potential. So for the whole region is around $100 million if we bring together the potential that AI can put forward. And just to give you a more practical example on how this can be translated in practice, I'd share a study, a case that happened in Romania recently. We worked with the Ministry of Environment, offering them cloud AI solutions so that they could follow the illegal wood logging. So In Romania, foresters that need to go outside the woods to take forest out trees, they need to basically take a picture of the logging and to upload it on a app of the ministry. And they will say how much wood that they've taken from the forest, and automatically someone will process that information and will issue them the pass so that they can leave the forest. Otherwise, they're not allowed to leave the forest. And we've been contacted by the Ministry of Environment because they were under such a huge amount of work. The people working at the ministry had to review manually each photo everyone took from the forest, and to make sure that they could calculate the amount of wood logging that they would take out of the woods. And sometimes you can imagine that they were trying to surpass the legal requirements. They were taking photos of another phone with the logging, and it could be seen in the picture that is a photo of another phone. So basically, using cloud AI solutions, the ministry put in place a public program that is now prohibiting deforestation, illegal deforestation, and is so successful that they managed to issue already fines of 700,000 euros. And of course to protect the forests in Romania, and there have been a massive amount of tree that they managed to secure and to make sure that this is not stole from the woods. This is just one small example about how we can use technology in the benefit of the population, of the society, and generally working with the public administration, because besides commercial and in the private sector, it's always much more difficult to make sure that you can implement and you can bring expertise and knowledge to the public sector. And we are very much eager to do that, to expand the programs, to build studies and cases that are relevant. And just to mention, because how AI is actually contributing for our societal well-being, you know that we had in our region recent floods. Just now, even in Moldova a few days ago, and in Romania, in other countries, we put together a Flood Hub, it's called. It's a tool that uses AI, and it manages to predict where floods are going to happen, and they can announce the population so they leave the cities, if they want to do, but it's a warning that they receive before it actually happens, just using AI tools and data imagery. So it's basically, it saves lives, not to mention what we can do in predicting or detecting early stages of cancer and in healthcare. So I think using a macro vision of what AI can do for us is just impressive, and I think it's our role to now understand the capabilities and to make sure that we can achieve them and use them for the societal good. Of course, there are challenges, and that's why we need to understand how it works and to put in place mitigating solutions to make sure that we are not leaving malicious actors to benefit from that and to take advantage of the technology for the unwanted purposes.
Thank you. That's really cool examples showing with the floods and with the forestry and that you're doing. And I hope there is much more that can be done also in Moldova, and that the partnership with Google can be extended on many more other things that can be useful for the society and for the community. Let's move to Victor. Any cooperation or any big project is usually done in cooperation between the government, big tech companies, academia, and civil society. What is the opinion of Orange Moldova, and how do you see yourselves involved in this process? What examples of successful collaboration can you bring up?
Yeah, I believe that cooperation between the government sector and private sector, this is a cumbersome moment, because without that cooperation, it will be very difficult to move on. The new technology, first of all, it's very disruptive. Second one, it requires significant investment in to adopt it. And the third, it requires a lot of skilled, newly skilled personnel, which is pretty difficult now to source on the market. Therefore, I believe only this mix between public and private sector can work. Going back to use cases which were deployed, we are offering active support and participation in the government developments towards data, towards digital, towards AI since 2017. We've partnered for several hackathons and mobility projects in order to make use of data for identifying development opportunities, trends. Now, with use of AI, there are no, I cannot point yet successful projects deployed with the government, because mainly, as I said, and as Vyacheslav was mentioning, that today AI is a copilot. So today, mainly everything about AI is about using it as a assistant to the personnel. So any task you can imagine someone is able to do, AI can do it for you, can do it faster, can help you do it. So the next phase would be to really wait for those unassisted pilots. And I believe here both private companies and state have a crucial role to play. If, let's imagine that ultimate crazy world Vyacheslav described, if everything will be concentrated in one single model, running somewhere in the world, I cannot imagine having world as it is anymore, because there will be no more countries, there will be no more different regulations, there will be no more rules. So everything will be centrally managed. And as Shahid was mentioning in his speech, yeah, the risk of being manipulated, influenced, or biased is very big. And that's why the governments, and here European Union, I believe, is the best example, trying to regulate, or at least trying to somehow control this area, or to issue, let's say, some guidelines. It's a very good example. That's a pity that other big tech players in this area are not doing that. So government and responsible private companies who are developing use cases and products based on AI are basically the key how we can secure a very bright future, combining AI with augmenting our world, not replacing humans.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you. Vyacheslav, you've been involved in fostering innovation ecosystems over the last many years. How important is collaboration between startups, government, civil society in your view? And how do you envision this partnership shaping the future of tech development related to AI or emerging technologies or other in general?
Ну, как я сказал, на мой взгляд, AI is a game changer. Он, на мой взгляд, принципиально меняет вот и модели сотрудничества и все остальное. Во-первых, нужно понимать, что наступило время одиночек. То есть уже один человек plus AI может сделать то, что раньше для чего нужна была большая компания. Это очень интересная история. И я считаю, что очень многие государственные функции еще быстрее могут быть отданы на аутсорс для частных компаний. Это очень важный момент. Единственное, что я бы здесь хотел подчеркнуть, и я вот здесь поддержу Виктора касательно дипфейков, возможных проблем с достоверностью в искусственном интеллекте. 2 года назад, если я не ошибаюсь, в Катаре был чемпионат по AI, и они там показывали, как они делали прекрасные сервисы AI по разработке законов. Все было прекрасно, кроме одного, что когда там попытались этими законами воспользоваться европейцы, выяснилось, что по некоторым законам, ну, там, в этом регионе там, насилие над женщиной не является преступлением. Ну и, соответственно, если мы там, пытались, там, чтобы сервисы искусственного интеллекта друг с другом об чем-то обсуждали в судебной отрасли, то, естественно, с точки зрения европейских норм это оказалось совершенно ненормальным. Вот. И сейчас мы, к сожалению, плохо понимаем, на каких данных учатся те или иные сервисы искусственного интеллекта. И каждое государство, вот, на мой взгляд, должно взять на себя очень важную ответственность. Это обучение базовых моделей AI, на которых потом бизнес или стартапы могут делать свои решения. Но вот этот базовый датасет, качественный датасет, на основании которого все остальное будет работать, на мой взгляд, это зона ответственности государства, и потому что бизнес может это просто не потянуть. Я бы так ответил.
Thank you. Let's go back to Victor. I have one more question that I missed. So telecommunications is a critical enabler of digital services. How do you see the rise of 5G and the use of 5G and the development of emerging technologies reshaping the telecom industry and the adjacent ones? Anything to say here? Because we're talking about AI, but can AI be valid without the critical infrastructure that actually is also very well developed now, or getting there?
Yeah, when thinking about 5G and AI, we are happy that we control 5G because connectivity and electricity would be the two main sources which AI will require to work. So here's the last touch points where humans still can defend against AI in a futuristic, let's say, ultimate scenario. Well, 5G, as I said, is indeed an enabler for AI because AI requires a lot of computing power. And the way we build the infrastructure, the way we'll build the connectivity will basically enable the future development of AI models. It's when looking at this B2C use cases, when we are chatting with and having fun with AI, when we are receiving some prompts, everything works well with this kind of central infrastructure. But when we try to put AI at real work and engage it into corporate processes, into production processes, we require a different infrastructure. And here, definitely 5G with higher speed and lower latency will be the enabler for new use cases. At this time, I don't know if AI yet is at that stage that 5G is a key enabler, but for the whole telecom industry, we have a lot of digital technologies yet to be adopted. And here I'm speaking not only about us as Eurasia region, but Europe as well as a continent. We are lacking a lot of digital processes at governmental levels, at corporate levels. But even countries like US, yeah, they have some tremendous tech giants, and they have tremendous global products. But when looking at all the processes, all the way down to the citizen, it's not yet digital. So I believe that there is, for at least next 3-5 years, there is a lot of development in this area with the use of 5G and new telecom technologies as a support.
Thank you. So Cezara, as one of the biggest tech players in the world, and we've seen at one of our last conferences when one of your colleagues, Lavinia, was presenting medicine, AI in medicine. You mentioned now AI in forestry. We know there is AI in education. What shall we expect more, and how will the world look like with the use of AI? I don't know, will there be robots replacing us? Will we have each of us a robot dog coming with us? Will there be what? What should we be afraid of or not in the future?
Well, if I say the sky is the limit, would you agree with me? I don't know exactly where can we get with the not just the amount of technology, but the superpower that it has to navigate all the complex computing power calculations that we're having. But the advancement that it can promote is absolutely phenomenal, and I think we can only reach the tip of the iceberg in terms of understanding what this technology is capable of, and we are even more and more closer to artificial general intelligence that many of us have probably heard about. So I think we have a tremendous potential to use AI for the benefit of society, but of course understanding what are the perils, what are the opportunities, working together in so many aspects, as you said, in the future of work and education. I think it's one thing to also understand when AI is helping us and when our human cognitive capabilities are needed, so in terms of assessing the result of an output that is brought forward by technology, or just to understand that AI is not there just to make our homeworks and get us the easy way for tasks and other things, but to understand how to use it more meaningfully and where we can unleash our creativity and the personal traits that we have. So I think it's such a challenge for the future years, but at the same time it is exciting to live in a moment in time when we can see all the technology developing, booming, and we can be part of that and together to shape it for the world that we want to be part of.
Thank you. I like the word creativity. That's probably going to make the difference, and much more around it when it comes to humans and AI, or humans powered by AI, or vice versa. And last but not least question, Vyacheslav, maybe you have some particular applications, projects, trendy things that you would recommend everybody to look for and go for it and try it just from the perspective of AI and not only. So what should we stay with our eyes on it?
Если здесь есть родители, то прежде всего я хочу порекомендовать те чат-боты, которые я сделал для всех школьников Молдовы. Мы сделали чат-боты на русском, румынском языках по всем 9 и 12 класс. То есть вы можете ими воспользоваться, это очень удобно. Кстати, я там иногда сам, когда забываю физику, а мне нужно там по моей деятельности математику, я ими пользуюсь, очень хорошо все объясняет. Но в принципе так, если говорить серьезно, то я считаю, что каждый из нас должен себе выбрать сервис типа чата GPT и в нем очень хорошо разобраться. Потому что на сегодняшний день это инструментарий, который вы можете идеально подстроить под себя и который кратно повысит вашу эффективность. Вот я посчитал, что я в среднем чатом GPT пользуюсь где-то час в день, час-полтора в день. Я посчитал, моя эффективность повысилась, я специально там взял месяц, и я отслеживал все, в 2,8 раза, то есть почти в 3 раза. Ну, я думаю, каждый из вас захотел бы некое повышение вот такой эффективности. Поэтому вот это используйте. А дальше все очень просто. Вот берете вашу деятельность, смотрите, какие вы бизнес-процессы у вас есть, и набираете в Гугле там based AI services for, там, я не знаю, for sales, бла-бла-бла и так далее. И вы точно найдете классные сервисы именно для вашей области, для вашей отрасли. Я вот в консультациях, которые у меня есть, я обычно всегда так рекомендую, и это реально помогает как людям отдельным, так и компаниям.
And Victor, the best B2B maybe service that we should all be with the eyes on, and that's where we like AI or something that you would like to recommend. I know it can be an orange service or not, or something else.
As I
Except
said,
phones.
Except what?
Except phones.
No, as I said, today AI is conversational P2P copilot. developing B2B services, this is the most difficult task today. And even large giants like Orange and other telecom operators, they're still struggling how they can generate value from using AI and at large scale. And because indeed, copilots, you can see twice the improvement of the efficiency, but at the end of the day, when employee is coming and asking for a double increase of salary, it's quite difficult to answer that and to respond to this demand. Therefore, it's a sensitive area. But we are offering a lot of consultancy and IT digitalization projects, let's say, or company digitalization projects for B2B customers, where we can augment the process or the business processes using chatbot, AI, voice bots, because today people very often confuse AI with all the digital technologies. There are a lot of other digital technologies which are more appropriate, more suitable for specific use cases, rather than jumping into AI and just being able to label your process or label your product that it's AI-driven, AI-enabled, AI-powered. That's not the point. And sometimes I'm really impressed with that. If you open LinkedIn, all the companies are 100% digital, 100% AI company. But when you go into financials of the company, you are not able to see the impact of the AI in the P&L of the company. So this is a message to be taken into account today.
And on this note, I hope we kind of drove through the global trends provided by Google. Cezara Panait, Head of Government Affairs and Public Policy in Google Romania, Bulgaria, and Moldova. Victor Sagaidac, Chief Information and Data Officer at Orange Moldova, and Vyacheslav Kunev, member of ATIC Board and entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and startups founder. So let's give a round of applause for our cool panelists. I haven't heard that. I think we're like 5 minutes early, but I guess if we have 5 minutes more for the lunch and